Welcome everybody, welcome. We shall make a start in just another minute. So if you haven't already, have your yoga mat ready, and we will start as we always do with Uar Capri. And we'll take it a little bit deeper this evening as well, because it is obviously a process of relaxation, but you are embodying the primordial ocean, the primordial waters, and we'll take that notion a little bit deeper. Okay. So as I say, not my usual setting, schedule wouldn't allow, so I'm actually in the Zen Den at home. For this week. And my ancestral bowl is here for later on, for closing. Okay, I think it's time to make a start. And we start by stopping. So if you'd like to come to a comfortable reclined position on your back, on your mat, feet about 2 feet apart, arms to the side of the body, palms facing up about a foot away from the side body. And just come into the body, just give the body a moment to acknowledge that it is now reclined, and all those muscles that have been working against gravity to keep us upright can actually soften and relax. So just let the body take its time to recognize this. Uar Capri, primordial waters, the great ocean of consciousness. And we'll take just a few purification breaths. So for that we inhale through the nose, gently and slowly, feeling the rise of the belly, the chest. We reach the top of the inhalation, we pause for a moment, we open the mouth and we allow the breath out through the mouth with a sigh. We pause at the end of the exhalation, close the mouth, begin the inhalation again through the nostrils. Pause at the end of the inhalation, open the mouth and release. I like to think of this as the breath of the infinite. Again, you pause at the end of the exhalation, close the mouth, inhale through the nose. Pause at the end of the inhalation, open the mouth and release the breath. Pause at the end of the exhalation, close the mouth, inhale through the nostrils. Pause at the end of the inhalation, open the mouth and release. And then relax, just allow the breath to find its own natural rhythm and depth. but returning to breathing through the nose for both the inhalation and the exhalation. Once the breath has returned to its own natural rhythm, depth and pace, then we move towards giving the breath a little direction, inhaling through the nose, pausing for a moment or two at the end of the inhalation, exhaling out through the nose, pausing for a moment or two at the end of the exhalation, and we continue with this breathing cycle. So 4 parts to the breath: an inhale, a pause, an exhale, a pause. And again we get into the rhythm of this, and we bring our attention down into our soles of our feet, and we just do a gentle scan, softening, relaxing, allowing things to become much more loose and open from the soles of the feet all the way through the body, the ankles, the lower legs, the knees, the upper legs, the buttocks, the pelvic girdle, the low back, the middle of the back, the upper back and shoulder blades, the palms of the hands, the fingers, the wrists, the lower arms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders, the nape of the neck, the back of the skull, the crown of the head, the brow, the eyelids, behind the eyes, cheekbones, importantly the jaw hinge, the tongue, the throat, the chest, and coming to rest back in the belly, softening the belly, but feeling the animating power of the breath, Sekhem. And just like the primordial ocean of consciousness has many names, and yet it cannot be named. And in Ua Capri, this is what we are choosing to embody. Our natural state as pure conscious presence, with many names and yet cannot be named. So I invite you to, for a moment, get a sense of being without a name. Or a label. Brother, sister, father, mother, cousin, auntie, uncle, friend, employee, employer, yoga teacher. Whatever it may be, get a sense of being without a name and your personal name. Just inquire, what might it be like to be without a name? And notice what and how that feels in the body. The nameless one. I'm pretty sure it feels quite peaceful. Just as the primordial consciousness is expressed to be. Peaceful and blissful in its own existence. That which has many names and yet cannot be named. I slowly invite you to arise out of Uwa Kepre. And for this we can bring the feet together, slide and turn the hands over so they're face down to the floor. Slide the feet so that the knees point upwards. Slightly lift the buttocks, sliding the hands underneath. And then raise in both legs. Just use the legs as a fulcrum to pull you up into extended leg seated position. And then just coming into Sesh Pose 1. Or easy pose with the legs crossed. And just by way of transition, just bring in closed fist onto the belly, below the sternum, the other fist on top of that. And just take 3 breaths with the 4 parts. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And when you've done your 3 of those, relax the hands. And from Sesh Pose, you might find an easy way to get up, or any way that suits you, is just roll over the legs, both hands to the floor, 1 foot on the floor, other foot on the floor, take a hand away and come to standing. Beautiful. So if you can come up into first open Mukut pose, open pyramid, heels together, feet pointed out. And the hands are relaxed. Relax the buttocks, but have a sense of rooting and grounded through the feet and lengthening up through the spine. And we'll just begin by invoking Ankh, the life-giving power, the animate force, through movement. So it's a 2-part inhalation. We start to inhale, we start to raise the arms up, out from the side body, rotating round so the palms face up. Slight pause there on the inhalation, then keep on inhaling until we bring the fingertips to touch, making like a circle, and then we exhale, rotate the palms round so that they face down. Exhale the arms all the way down. And again, inhaling, shoulder height, palms facing up, continue inhaling. Fingertips touch. Exhale, turn the palms round and slowly bringing the arms down. Inhale again. Rotate. Keep on inhaling. Fingertips touch. Rotate, exhale. And as you're exhaling, the arms just gently come down. Relax. Allowing the head simply to tip to the chest, chin towards the chest, and just do 3 slow, gentle rotations in whichever direction you went naturally, inhaling as the head rolls up to the center, exhaling as it passes the fulcrum point and comes back down to the chin to the chest. 3 rotations in one direction, finishing the 3rd rotation with the chin on the chest. And then switch and start to rotate in the other direction. Again, 3 rotations. Finishing the 3rd rotation again with the chin on the chest. And from here we start to gently move the head from side to side. Chin remains on the chest. Like a gentle weaving motion. And then slowly we start to bring the head up very slowly, still weaving from side to side. And the weave might feel like it gets a little bit larger in movement as we bring the head up, bring the head up, bring the head up until it starts to wobble a little and allow it to find its natural resting place. And relax. Gentle shoulder rotations. Inhaling, raising the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we pull them back, closing shoulder blades and lowering the shoulders down, and then as they come round to the front, we open the shoulder blades up, closing the shoulders around the chest, and we start to bring them up again towards the ears, and close down, round. 3, again in whichever direction you went naturally, pausing when they're down and then rotating the opposite way. 3 rotations. And relax. So we're going to have a little transition from first Makut pose into a wide open stance, so about shoulder width apart. So if you remember, we use Ka, meaning spirit, to transition by inhaling, raising the arms up, cactus arms as people also know them, shifting the weight into one leg, whichever one feels comfortable, and then stepping out to the side as we lower the arms out to the side and down. So that now our feet are about shoulder width apart. And we'll just do some very gentle hip rotations, and you can either place the hands on the hips and or support the lumbar spine, whichever works for you best. And just starting to make little circles. Again, just moving in whichever direction felt natural for you to move first. And we'll do 6 one way. Try and keep the torso and the head on straight. Pause, and then 6 full rotations in the opposite direction. And pause. Allow the arms to drop down. Just a few side body openers. Inhale, raising the arms up to car. Reaching with the left hand towards the right. The right hand takes hold of the left and then pulls the left over to the side as we first bend, lateral bend. And then release, coming back into car, standing up straight. Right hand goes to left. Left hand takes hold of the right and pulls over to the side, to the left side. And release, coming back into car. One more either side. Left hand goes to right. Right hand takes hold. And gentle pull. And release. Right to left. Takes hold. Pull. And release. And this time really one more either side. Left to right. We normally do multiples of 3. Right to left. Gentle stretch. Side body. Coming back to car. Turn the hands out to the sides. Exhale down. And relax. So there's a lot of pausing, a lot of relaxing in Kinetic Yoga. In this particular form, we're doing a very meditative form of Kinetic Yoga because we're actually telling a story. Although this is entering the flow, these are just general sequences of some warm-ups that we can do. Very nice. Okay, we'll transition from a wide-legged stance back to a closed-leg stance through car. Inhaling, bring the arms up into car, transferring the weight. Step in, heels in, makut. And there we are once again. Second makut, meaning now bring the big toes together. Heels slightly apart. Bringing the hands to the knees. Gentle rotations. 3 in one direction. And then 3 in the other direction. And coming up, relax. And from here, we should just transition into a wide leg stance. So we bring in car once again, transfer the weight, open the feet, put one foot slightly forward, and just rolling over the toes. A few rotations, switch the rotation. Always feels awkward going the opposite way because we're always going the way that works for us best the first time. And relax. Bring the other foot forward, only slightly. Again, rotating over the toes. So rotating the ankle, the knee, all the way up to the hip. Over the toes and the other way. And stepping out to the wide-legged stance. And we're moving on this week into the third triad or trinity of movements. We're moving on to a sets, which is a beautiful sequence of 3 postures, 3 moves. But before we get there, we will still go through the first 3 that we've already learnt, which is Nun, Shu and Asar. And we're just going to do a little warm-up to move down into Nun, which is a gentle squat or a full squat if your ankles, knees and hips allow, Otherwise, you go down as much as you can, just pushing the bottom back and down. But before we get there, we'll just a little sequence to move into that. So inhale, raising the arms up. And then we start exhaling as we come down through the midline. Inhaling before the hands go too close to the floor. And then we straighten the legs, exhaling, starting to curl back up. Inhaling as we raise the arms up again. Exhale, coming down, sitting the bum down. Dropping the hands down, inhaling, start to raise up, we start exhaling, head comes up on last, and then we inhale the arms up once again, exhaling, moving down, sitting down, hands move towards the floor, we're inhaling, it's almost brushing the floor if you've got that much range. Exhaling as we come up. One more inhale. This time the hands come together, palms of the hands together into Sima. And then we exhale. You can adjust your feet if you need to. And we come down into Nun, the primordial ocean. Moving into multiplicity and duality. So from here, we would normally say Nukpu Nun, I am that, I am Nun. And as we inhale, we release the little fingers, the ring finger, the middle finger. We make our mudra of the pyramid, Makut. We're still inhaling. They separate. We go into a little back bend, fingers pointing back. And then as we come back, we're exhaling. We bring Makut back together, which is the index finger and thumbs connected from both hands. As we start to bend down, bring the other fingertips back together, all the way back down to Nun. So inhale, separating, full separation, multiplicity, duality, gentle back bend, exhale, coming back down. And we go again. Inhale, separating. Little back bend. And coming back down. And then we're going to transition into Shu. Shu separates heaven and earth. So there's this multiplicity now which has happened through Nun expanding. So we open into the Lotus Mudra, keeping the little fingers and the thumbs together. The other fingers come apart. And we inhale, we come up, we separate, arms come out to the sides, palms facing up. We push up from our toes and then we settle down. A little bend in the knees, then an inhale, push up, expand, separate heaven and earth, and then exhale, come back down. Inhale, push up, separate heaven and earth, really have a sense of separating it, and then come back down. 3 more times, inhale, push up, find that balance on the toes, extend through the body, exhale, come down, inhale, push up, exhale, come down, inhale, push up, exhale, come down, relax the arms, turn the palms away, and relax there for a moment. The feet are probably pointing out, just face them forward as we transition from Nukpu Shu to Nukpu Asa or Aset as we take our throne. So for this, there is it's kind of like chair pose in classical yoga, except our feet are firmly apart, further apart, about hip width apart. And we inhale, and as we inhale, we sit the bottom down, we raise the arms up to shoulder height. Keep the back long, head on straight. We exhale. The arms come back to the side of the legs, past the side of the legs. We go up onto the toes, we flex the wrists. And then we lower down and we come back onto our throne. And then we come up, past the thighs with the arms, flex the wrists onto the toes. And lower down, taking the throne. And again, coming up, past the thighs with the arms, flex the wrists onto the toes. And lowering down again. So we're going again. Building strength, vitality in the legs, the ground, the root, that which supports us and carries us through the day. From nun through shu to asa. One more. Coming down to the throne. Coming up. Past the thighs. Flex the wrists. And then relax. Transition through ka to closed makut. So inhale, bring the arms up to ka. And bring the feet in. Exhale. Let the arms come down by the side. Heels together. Feet open. And from here, we're just going to take 9 breaths. We're going to take them in Salket. So we open the palms to face forward. Bring the arms slightly away from the body. A little bend in the elbows. Relax the buttocks. Head on straight. And go for your 4 parts breath. Inhaling through the nose. Pause just for a moment. Exhale through the nose. Pause at the end of the exhale. And do that for 9 breaths. When you've done your 9 breaths, relax the arms down. And that'll give me an indication that you're all there. So remembering that Salket is guardian to the ancestors. So keeping watch, keeping care. And through which also we can forge connection as we embody that guardianship in which in all reality as living embodied beings of so many hundreds if not thousands of beings that came before you, then all of your lineages, you are the embodiment of all those who came before you. So rightly so that you are the embodiment of that stewardship, of all that wisdom, of all that experience. You are a direct expression of all of those. And so the hands have come back down by the side. And now we're about to move into Asset's movements. Now Asset is the consort, if you like, of Asa. And Asa is the embodiment of consciousness. It is said that when Asa spoke his name, just like when consciousness said Ankh or the universe was born. But in that, multiplicity and duality is born. And in that, Asa also loses himself. And there's a lot around the mythology around this. But in losing himself, he loses his sense of his pure divine nature and will. And he becomes susceptible to his awesome multiplicity and gets lost in that. And as a consequence of that, with a little bit more story behind it, at some point he becomes completely dismembered through something that happens between him and technically his sister-in-law. He becomes completely dismembered by Set, the lowest form of the self, the complete ego, if you like. And Set is the one because she's the pure energy which creates all the multiplicity. She is the body of wisdom, compassion, and deep love. Of course, she loves her husband greatly. So she at some point flies around to gather all of the pieces which have been thrown across the whole kind of universe or the world, if you like, to bring them back together. And again, with her great wisdom, compassion and love for Asar, for the divine nature of all things, she resurrects Asar. And this is the first story of resurrection, if you like. So we're going to embody that. We're going to embody Asar, Set, flying around, gathering all of the parts to Asar, and with her love and compassion and loving embrace in particular, resurrecting Asar, at which point the spirit, returns back to Asar. So, Aset 1, if you like. So we should be in Makut. So for this, we inhale, we raise the arms up, we keep the palms facing down because we want the backs of the hands to come together. And then as we exhale, we bring our wings down and we rise up onto our toes. Finishing the exhale there. And as we inhale, we slowly lower back down to the toes, bending the knees, raising the arms up again. As the arms go up, we lengthen and straighten through the body. And then we exhale. As we're exhaling, we're lowering the arms, we come up onto our toes. We hold there. And then as we begin the inhale, we lower the heels with the bent knees, but then we straighten the knees as the arms come all the way up, so then the body's long and straight. Backs of the hands reach together, and then we're exhaling again, bringing the arms down, up onto the toes, and then lowering down, starting the inhale. Knees are bent, arms are rising up. As the arms rise up, we straighten the knees, legs straight, lengthen through the body. Backs of the hands come up again, and then it's the exhale. So we're taking off, as you can imagine, as we raise up onto our toes. We're coming up. Bringing the backs of the hands together, long body. Exhale, arms come down, up onto our toes, staying as we are. We start the inhale, we lower gracefully. She is grace indeed. Bending the knees, the arms are coming up. Lengthen then, straighten the legs, lengthen the body. Feeling tall. Backs of the hands come together. Exhale, arms coming down. Heels come off the floor. Inhale, lowering the heels down, raising the arms up, palms still facing down, remember. All the way up, lengthen through the body. Beautiful. Exhale. Heels come off the floor. Pause, inhale, lower the heels, knees are bent, and you're lengthening and straightening. All the way up. And just pause for a moment here. We're just going to release the arms down. Exhale. So the set has taken flight to gather all of those parts of Asar. And upon finding all of the parts, bar one, she goes about resurrecting Asar with her loving embrace. And very often you will see images of a set with her wings like this. So this is kind of representative of her embrace. So we're still in Makut. And if anybody's done any kind of classical yoga, you might be familiar with eagle pose, where we wrap a leg around and we wrap the arms also. there's a similarity, but it's not the same. So in Makut, we just bring the arms into that posture which I showed you side on. So one arm is slightly higher than the other. Arms are pointing forwards. And we're going to move into a set's embrace. Now she's the embodiment of pure love, great wisdom and compassion. So first she's going to open her heart. So we inhale, we open the arms up, out, they come level. Again, gentle back bend, head tilts back, lifting the chest up to our divine nature. And then as we exhale, we bend the knees, keeping the back straight. Wrap the arms around us, one underneath, one on top. Feel the shoulder of the hand which is on top. Just feel the sensation there, because then you'll know which hand needs to go where next. And then we open, we come back up to straight, opening the arms again, lifting the chest, head back, exhale. Now this time we want the opposite hand to be on top. So if you know where the sensation is on the shoulder from before, you'll use the opposite hand. Bend the knees, we come down. And then we open again, inhaling, opening the heart completely, exhaling, bending the knees, wrapping our loving embrace. Inhaling, we come up, straighten the legs, open the body, open the chest. Inhaling, coming again, bending the knees, wrapping. Inhale, open, exhale, close, bend the knees, inhale, come up, open, exhale, bend the knees, wrap, inhale, open, exhale, bend the knees and wrap. One more, inhale, open, exhale, just bringing the hands down by the side body and relax just for a moment. Beautiful. A set brought the parts together through her love, great wisdom and compassion, has now resurrected the body of Asar, and Asar's spirit returns. So as I've already explained, Ka is spirit. So Ka spirit returns. So on this, as we inhale, we're in Makut. We inhale, and as we inhale, we go up onto the toes. We come into Ka whilst we're high on the toes. We exhale, we turn the hands out, lowering back down to the heels, lowering the arms down. Inhale, coming up. Ka, exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Ka, exhale, coming down, returning into the body of Asar, spirit. First resurrection. Exhale, come down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Relax and just lengthen through the legs. And we'll take a rest pose for 9 breaths, but this time we'll do it in Asar's pillar or Jed. So we use Heru, Makut, so we close our digits into a fist, both hands, left hand to the right chest, right hand to the left chest, little angle in the wrists, relax the buttocks, stand up tall, lengthen through the back body. Bring some awareness into the back body in particular. And then breathing in through the nose, pause for a moment, exhale through the nose, pause for a moment, inhale through the nose. 9 breaths. When you finish your 9 breaths, simply release the arms down by the side, open hands. So, as you take your 9 breaths, Asar's resurrection was incomplete because there was a piece missing. And also out of the great love and compassion that Aset had for Asar, she, in the process, also births a son, Heru. So Heru, in many ways, is the one that must now retake the throne that Asar had been deposed from by Set. And we'll learn Heru's pose, not next week, but the following week. But I'm just trying to give you an understanding of the flow of the story, because again, this is a meditative flow where we want to embody the qualities of these icons of essence nature, such as compassion, love, resurrection in terms of our spirit returning for, the divine path. To come back to recognize the fullness of what we are. And we start as Nun, the primordial ocean. We say yes to our limitless potentiality and expression, which emerges. We separate the heaven and the earth, and then we take our embodied seat as embodied consciousness. And then the story continues to unfold. Okay, so we're all, I think, completed our 9 breaths there. Lovely, just in the right amount of time. So we're going to come back now, and whilst the poses aren't particularly excessive in terms of what one needs to do, when we start to build them in this way, we're inevitably going to get just a little bit of a sweat on, just a little bit. So to come down to the floor, and this movement will become important in the last 3, the last trinity of movements. So from Merkut, we're going to go into Heru Merkut, so closing the fingers into a fist. I'm going to put a little bend in the knees, transfer the weight into the right leg slightly, lift the left foot off the floor, so it's a bit of a balance. And then just step forward, but drive with the right knee. Yeah, drive with the right knee. Bring the heel down, then the toes, and then bend in the left knee, bend in the right knee comes down to the floor. Take the weight onto the right and bring the left leg down, also into kneeling. Sesh 2. We can sit back, and or we can come onto all fours, cross the legs behind us, and roll back onto our seat. Open the legs, as in make them long, and again from there we can just gently roll back onto the back. Open the feet about 2 foot apart, but this time bring in the hands, left hand onto the sternum, right hand on top. And if we can, we want to bring the tips of the 2 thumbs together, making a little Merkut mudra between the 2 hands, but keeping the upper parts of the arms, the elbows, on the floor. So you might have to play a little bit in terms of where you place your hands. It might need to be a little bit further down to make the little mudra. And then come to the breath. Let the breath first find its own natural rhythm, depth and pace. Whether that's in through the nose and out through the mouth, let it be whatever it needs to be. Don't give it any direction just yet. Just let it find its own natural rhythm. A little reset. The body's wisdom knows what it needs. When the breath does feel as though it's more settled, then you can invite the 4 parts breath, in through the nose, pause, out through the nose, pause. So just bring that awareness to the breath, to the body. This is a part of the integration now. So we're integrating the flow of Sekhem, or life force, known as prana in classical yoga, or chi in traditional Chinese medicine, and Qigong and Tai Chi. It's my Tawi, it's Sekhem, the flow of life force energy. So just building awareness on how the body feels. We should have a general sense of kind of energized, but also more open, more relaxed. This particular sequence, when completed in full, remember which there's another triad yet that we're yet to discover and experience, but not for another 2 weeks just yet. We're just going to build on these first 2 triads. But when the full sequence is completed, it's powerful in terms of really helping to clear all of the energy channels throughout the body and allowing the Sekhem to flow more fluidly. The breathing which we actually do is also bringing harmony and balance to the autonomic nervous system. Maybe just noticing on the exhalation the body's natural tendency to soften a little bit more, relax a little bit more. So if you can try and just invite a slightly longer exhalation than inhalation. And as we deepen in our understanding of the postures and their iconography, and we start to practice and embody the qualities that iconography represents, with obviously, like any yoga practice, with regular practice, we start to experience those qualities and just naturally unfolding within our daily lives. sense of our own sovereignty, our divine nature, deep compassion, first for ourselves, and also ourselves includes all others, human and non-human, wisdom and love, and embodying a recommitment to spiritual path, however that may look for you. So just allowing that integration, and then just taking a reset breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and either by the hinge movement or any other movement that works for you, coming just up into seated Sesh Pose 1. And I'll just close by giving thanks and gratitude first to all of you here on the call this evening who've chosen to join this class. I have gratitude for that, and I thank you for your presence and your willingness to be here. I give thanks to all the other forces from all the directions that have also facilitated this evening's practice. I give thanks and gratitude to my ancestors, all of those who are healed and well within my lineages, and your ancestors too, for also supporting your capacity to be here this evening. And to those ancestors who are yet to be healed and well, we offer you our compassion and our love and remembrance. May all beings be well. May all beings know peace. And may all beings be free of suffering and its mostly mind-created causes. Ankh Ujab Seneb. Life, wellness and prosperity. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rowan. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Susan. You're very welcome. Thank you for showing up. It's
Bye, everyone.
always a blessing. Take care.